short introduction about the project. I would like to start with some short feeling what kind of people I have around here. Which of you is a SME? Can you raise your hands? Okay, only two. Okay. And what kind of market are you in active? Can you? What? Sorry. To which one do you provide your service? What kind of market? Is it a financial market? Is it a technical market? What is it? Okay, good. And you over there?
It's quite the same. So IT services and products, software products.
And to what kind of companies do you provide that?
Smart city related areas.
Smart city related. Nice. Lovely. Okay. So I have a short view of who we are. If there are any questions, please ask them during my presentation. It's no problem. So today in this part of the workshop, I will only dive in the strategic and in the pragmatic part of cloud services. I will then tell you something about the trust and how it's about cloud services. Thereafter, I will tell you something about the digital single market, which is one of the important things over here. And of course, some common understandings, which is necessary to understand cloud services as well. And we have to go back to the basics. And of course, a short introduction about the ecosystem of the legal system, of course. So I am Janneke Breeuwsma. I'm a lawyer of Artis Legal. I'm specialized in digital data, technology, and security. With Artis Legal, we are an international law firm. We have a digital global strategy. So it would mean that we are advising a lot of IT companies. We are advising people who want IT procurement, ever on cloud, on Internet of Things, on security, all that kind of topics, and of course also the governments and the European Union. Furthermore, as we believe in practice what you preach, like cloud services, we also have developed a cloud-based application. It's running in the cloud on Salesforce. It's a supply platform, and it's a tool for organizations to automate their work and to automate their routine work on document-rich organizations. So that's a briefly introduction of what I'm doing. I would back to the basics. Why is digital a key? Andre also mentioned as one of the biggest part over here. I think for the last decade, the economy has focused on industry and knowledge. And today, the economy is getting older in whole Europe. As we see it, well, as in the Netherlands, people are getting older. So the new youngs have to be the future. However, we have to do more in the same time. Like you see it in here in the in this research of the Financial Times, we have to do 80% more than over the past half century. So we have a quite job to do in the same amount of time. And that's one of the things that why cloud services could be really enable, and digital should be key. And that's also one of the things we have to address, and especially we need to address this because 65% of the kids today don't have jobs who are not invented today. So there is a real need that we have to be innovative, that we have to be creative, and to have everything going to a digital key. We have to transform the market and how to execute and to make the basics for kids and the children for the next couple of years. And we now have the opportunity to get that basics. So we need a catalyst. So what are catalysts? And I think you are here in a pretty good environment. The key is, of course, invention. And there should be a pressure to be inventive and to be create and adapt, of course, of cloud services as well. A crisis is a good catalyst to be inventive and to create something. And you look to the financial services. Well, banks nowadays, they are getting older. They haven't reinvented themselves for years. What we see is that there are a lot of fintech companies, and well, it is a fact of time that they will take over the banks. A nice example is the Spanish bank. They told us, well, in a few years, I'm only provide digital services. Because otherwise a bank will be, nowadays it's a bank with a bank license, and in the future it's an IT company with a bank license. So it should be changing. And that's also for some, from the standardizations and regulations, of course. Most of the time laws are old-fashioned. And also we see that in Europe, it's a real approach to get inventive and to get the main topics of the digital single market, because well, we want to be competitive, of course, with the US. And I think, what I said, and Andre mentioned as well, here in Romania, you are creating a good environment, and I love to be here. Because well, you have the knowledge. You have the knowledge for many years from outsourcing. I have clients who are outsourcing their IT building, which we really miss in the Netherlands. So I will say, keep that passion. You're one of the catalysts of here to make it go to a digital single market. But one of the other problems, how are we doing that? Because, well, there are a lot of people who couldn't get their head around cloud computing. They don't know what is it. They even know sometimes about digital. That is one of the things if you are selling or using cloud service, it's a problem where you run to it. So, and on the other hand, we have the innovations and policy initiative, which are challenges to create a digital economy, of course. And of course, we have the common understanding. That is also still a lot of the question, because there is a real disconnection and perception of the cloud services. And you have to realize that if you are selling or buying or procuring cloud services. I think that is one of the things, I see it in my daily practice, and I know a lot of lawyers, well, they don't even know what cloud is. So for non-technical people, this is one of the main questions they have. Okay, what's cloud? On the other hand, if you see to the organizations, the cloud services are digital, they are connected, they are multi-stakeholder, which I like and which I prefer, and it's definitely a strength. But on the other hand, it's because it's connected, there are devices, it's also a challenge. And you see it as here in this overview and this question in one of the, I'm not sure where it's from, what to say, what's the biggest cloud security challenge your organization has to address? And that is always about the unmanaged risk. And there is, in all challenges of the organization, shadow IT, understand, there is shadow IT. Your IT manager buys his own IT. On the other departments will also buy his own IT services. So it's not controlled. And it's unmanaged. And they also have the questions, where is my data? Where can I control that? and that's how they manage. If you see what they are asking for, what they are looking for, they all have the same questions, like this one of the questions. And what's the beautiful thing? If everything is connected, and we've got the unmanaged things, it's a lot of shadow IT, and it's getting more and more and more. So it's a little bit a Pandora's box of the data management. So it's everyone brings his own IT devices. So you maybe have, if you go to the cloud and you want to create a lean organization or something built new on cloud services, they probably understand in a lot of organizations this kind of connections. You will broke through that. The other thing is that we need some trust. Do we trust the cloud services? One of the reasons there's still a disconnection between the supply and demand sides of cloud services. These are the main blocking factors. 80% were not using paid cloud services. It's about the insufficient knowledge. They don't have any knowledge about cloud services. One of the other things, if they have paid cloud service, it's the security breach risk. But what they are not doing, or they not trust the cloud services. If you realize, if you buy or procure a cloud services, you have to really know that they don't have enough knowledge. I work with a government organization. They said, well, okay, we want to go to the cloud. It's just Azure, it is just Office 365. They said, okay, some of us are able. They want to go to the cloud. Other departments have, no, I don't trust that. So even within, if you see to larger organizations, you have always the same question. Some are then trusted. The other end, they don't trust anything. But I think some facts shows us that it is a real strength on cloud services. Instead that is a treat. It shows that it's a real strength for users and providers. And even here you see the concerns versus the realized benefits. And you see the difference about the adoption, about the trust. And I think it's just the combination of the experience sometimes, the perception and the feel, and on the other hand you have the facts and the standards and the community, which are totally different, and there's a real disconnection with it. If you show something like that, okay, we can realize more productivity, we can realize more of less security breaches. Well, that should be a real trust. So this also brings me to the mission of the European single market, and of course the SLA-Ready project. It's about making informed decisions about cloud services, and it's all based on different kinds. From a legal perspective, it's based on standardization guidelines. The European Cloud SLA standardization guidelines is my office and my colleagues and me are one of the writers of it, co-authors. And furthermore, if you see to the digital single market, the strategy is to endorse the common understanding of cloud terms and SLAs to have a greater transparency and a higher maturity. So to make well-informed decisions on what services to use, what can you expect, and how to trust. This will definitely lead an uptake of the global digital single market. You can see there are 20 million SMEs in the whole Europe. So we've got a real uptake to them. If we all have transparent, the same understanding of what is cloud services. I'm going fast. Okay. So I will go back to the basics, because we need a common understanding. Because what is cloud computing? It's totally different than on-premise software used in, like I said, in the old days. The essential characters are, of course, it's on-demand self-services. You have a broad network access. It could be used on any device. It's resource pooling, rapid and measured. It's all services. The model is based on services. And there are all different. You can use the internet, the infrastructure, the platform as a services, SaaS. And I think, and even the deployment models are quite different. You have private clouds, hybrid cloud, public cloud. And I think you can even, well, if you look to data, for example, you can choose which kind of cloud you use if you can explain what are the best practice or what are the flavors, because, well, sometimes on data, you would like to choose, if it's sensitive data, you would choose for a private cloud. If there are non-personal data in it, you will choose to maybe some hybrid cloud where you put your sensitive data in the private, and the non-sensitive data of non-personal data, you will set that in the public cloud. So that's also other things where you can real enabler. You can see if you have the real understanding. If it's cloud services, it's a service-based model. It's not software anymore, like we talking about. Even this is one of the main topics I have to explain to a lot of even my clients who are selling the solutions as well. The difference between the SaaS and software from the old days. So realize that we have the common understanding about cloud computing. The same is with data. Data is definitely not a four-letter word. You see the word data every day on your newspapers. Well, I see them. And data is all different kinds of data. It could be classified in different types of data. We call that data segmentation. We have the personal data, non-personal data, sensitive, the confidentiality data, verified data. They're all kinds, and it needs all kinds, all addressed on a different way. Because, well, personal data is just one part of data. It's not the whole data, it's just one part. And you want to address personal data on a different way, because it's sensitive, it has more high risk, especially sensitive data. So, for example, you want sensitive data you want to encrypt. It's more better. And I think if you choose which data you want to protect and in what kind of cloud you will use, you have to segmentate which kind of data you are using. For example, I heard from an airplane manufacturer. They have data. They said, okay, all data is classified, all data. So we can go to the cloud because, well, all data is classified. But there are just one small part, what is personal, what should be high sensitive and high risky. But the main fact, they were saying everything is classified. So you can't play with the data, and it's all there. You can see there is difference between the sort of data. So it's definitely not a four-letter word. So coming to my legal basics, here see the ecosystem of technology and the rule of law. So each kind of industry has such kind of ecosystem about a law. And it is about, well, cloud service is just, we're just on the beginning, so it's sometimes a little bit immature. You see that we are basically start with the technology and the human factor. We built nice technologies. There are humans who are using it. Then you see that in the second layer that there is the market will create standards. If you make your example to another, we have the ISO standards. There are certifications. Market self-regulatory. There's also how the market will handle question about the technology. Then you will definitely arrange something in your contracts. So that's also the market value. How do we write it in the contracts? And the risk allocation is almost fully on the right because it's a little bit immature, of course. You all know insurance right now for cloud services. It's probably the future. Well, we're working on it, but it's a process of the adoption here. And furthermore, you see that in the other layers are the law and legislations. They are also now, you see a lot of new laws and regulations on how to protect, for example, the data, or how to use digital services. It's growing and it's now getting there. And we have also the official policies. Case law on cloud service, not have any case law, not much anymore at this moment. So if you, for example, see to a normal common market as a consumer products, we all know that there is a lot of case law in it. It's there for years. So we know how to handle with that kind of topics. On cloud service technology, we are just working on it to build this ecosystem on laws. And of course, I think very important things are the ethics and the accountability. And that is one of the things, and it's very important to all the users and all the professionals of the cloud service. They have a real responsible how we can use and how we can implement the cloud services. And today, coming back to today, of course, about the SLAs, it's just a particular part of this whole ecosystem. It's not just one single thing, what is the key? It should be the whole entire environment, which we make that the technology work and the rule of law is working all together. And we have, wow, we all worked there in a few years. We've got, if you look to other practices like the car manufacturers or something, you can see, okay, we make cars, the users, we have certifications, we've got insurance for cars, we have all regulations over there. And this is also the process for the cloud services. It's all based on different types of standardizations, laws, and how to use. So this was my short introduction about how the law works and how it's based on different types, and what's of course your enabler to definitely use cloud services. And I would say to let it over here and have, if there are questions, raising some hands.
Some of our customers' data to the cloud, to the public cloud, from the end of a private cloud. The questions were around what happens with UK-based customers' data who want to move to Amazon cloud. How is the legal regulations, because Amazon is a US company, and is there any separation between hosting the data in the European area of Amazon? Does it help in terms of, let's say, avoiding the US laws whenever there is a court in the US just saying that you need to present all the data from the cloud, because European customers are not very comfortable with working with US law or being affected by US law.
Yes, I think, well, you mentioned Amazon, and Amazon is, I think, one of the best who already they have their data center in Ireland. I know a lot of companies are accepting that and you can choose your region where you set it over
I know.
there.
The question was, if you choose the Ireland region, does it protect you from the US law?
Yes and no. Yes, it's also always a different. Basically, you're putting your data in Europe, so that's the only one thing. Of course, there are still some carve-outs in the Amazon SLAs that they said, okay, probably we'll go to the US. On the other hand, if I see that from I'm not sure how it's over here, but when I see to the laws of the Netherlands, I also know that that there is also a reason that that we are accepting that. But there is also, I know if you set your data in the US, then they need to go to court. So it's a much stronger protection to get your data than for example, in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, if every kind of government organization could have access without a court order. So I'm not scared to have my data in the US. Maybe it's more safer than over here. And I know that a lot of people are struggling with that. And even now, when the new regulation or the new regulation is coming, I think it's more protected over here. And you can really choose. I know for Amazon you can really choose to have it only here.
Yeah, basically,
and then it's here. So then the key is in Europe, and that is one of the. Probably you know the case of Microsoft in the US. That was one of the cases that the key was. They also have data in Ireland, but the key they don't have the key. So if there was a court order in the US, it states in the US, they said, okay, we don't have the key of the Ireland data center. So they were not allowed. They couldn't give the data free. So I know where you're struggling. It's all, and I think it's a part of to be comfort with cloud or not. And I think you never have enough boundaries. So I think it's.
Yeah, the question was mostly if the US legislation is restricted to the US territory, or it expands to wherever Amazon as a US company has stored the data.
Well, it's where they store the data. If you store it in Ireland, then it's also protected under the European laws. So is that answered your question? We can talk about a lot the whole day later on, of course. So any questions? Yes.
Hello. Hi, my name is Andrea. I'm from iQuest. And I have a question regarding working with US company in the context of the Safe Harbor Agreement. what is going to happen next?
Well, safe harbor is not anymore.
Yes, this is why I'm addressing it.
Yeah, so we have now the privacy shield. Let's call it the privacy shield. There are also the basic principles, as like in the safe harbor, of course. Yeah, well, I'm not a huge fan of the privacy shield because, well, it gives us the same things over there. They bring more law enforcement queries. Of course, if your data is in the US, you can ask a law enforcement. It's more controlled, and I still think, they are working on it, and I think with the future is more of the European and the US. The principles are getting somewhere together. That's the problem, the things over there. But the first companies are in the US. They are access to the privacy shields. They are according by the FCC. So they are addressing the privacy shields. Is that your question?
And that should be stated in the contract in order to have them applicable?
Yes, and you also can use the standards of the European Commission, which also said that you are allowed to transfer them to the US.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Janneke.